Hello and welcome to the Bougie in a Backpack podcast. I'm Mackenzie from Travel Mackenzie, and I'm here today with Arthur Chow, who is an award travel coach and credit card consultant. He discovered the world of points and miles in 2010 and dove in headfirst, amassing 1.5 million points and miles within the first 6 months. Arthur loves to squeeze the most value out of his miles, regularly booking first-class flights around the world trips in business class with one credit card sign-up. So Arthur spoke at our August summit all about mastering credit card approvals, and he also spoke at our May summit about how to book around the world trips with points with one welcome offer. So welcome, Arthur.
Thank you, Mackenzie, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here. We finally met in person at TravelMoreCon a couple of days ago.
Yeah, definitely. It was fun. Always great to meet up with Mackenzie and Angel and chit chat about points and miles. Definitely. I'm actually here in Las Vegas as we speak. So it's only a couple of days after TravelMoreCon, and I actually have the Rio booked to get a couple extra high-end nights for Globalist next year. And also I booked my parents in the Fontainebleau using our FHR with American Express Platinum. So good benefits there. We got free breakfast, an extra $100 of food and beverage credit. One tip though, right now, if you come to the Fontainebleau and you just play a little bit, you'll get some really nice offers because Fontainebleau is actually one of the new kids on the block. They have to compete with the high-end hotels like the Wynn, the Crockfords, the Resorts World, Bellagio. And since they're so new, they want to get more people on the casino floor. So if you just play a little bit, they'll throw you some offers. I actually came last week as well to the Fontainebleau with my other set of parents. I have two sets of parents, and my dad played, I think, a few $100s. And he already got this week, he received an email for 4 free nights at an upgraded room at the Fontainebleau to come back within the next 3 months. So they're really throwing offers if you just play a little bit. So for people who like Vegas, it is definitely a great way to spend time with the family and get some free offers and beverage credit, things like that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, let's say you don't like gambling because you're like, oh, I don't want to, I'm not going to win anything. But, if you just treat it as you're spending the money, you're spending like a little bit and they're giving you 3 or 4 nights for free. That's way more than what you probably paid.
Yeah. And Fontainebleau is a high-end hotel. So we're talking about like minimum on the weekdays, maybe $250 a night. And weekends, it could go up to like $300 to $500 a night, depending how busy it is. So it's really a great deal and it's brand new. Everything in the hotel, like I'm sitting in the room right now, is brand new, really nice. The restaurants, every single one we've been to has been really good, quality-wise, and service is really good. So I actually, the week before Travel More Summit, I went to Zork Fest, which was in Vegas. And that's something that I actually talked to some more frequent gamblers that they also play a lot at the Fontainebleau too, because Fontainebleau is really giving out a lot of comps, a lot of just comp dollars, food and beverage credits, rooms, just for people that just play a little bit because they really want to attract some of these gamblers from these other casinos. So if you just like to eat, it's always great to come to Vegas as well. You don't have to gamble much. I'll give you guys another tip on playing in the casino. You can actually play video poker, which has some of the best odds. And a lot of times they have these video poker terminals in a bar in the casino. If you play at the video poker stations around the bar, you actually get free drinks and you don't have to wait for someone to come to you because there's actually bartenders right in front that just keep on serving you drink after drink. You just tip them and you're sitting there playing, right? Right before this podcast, I was downstairs playing for like 20, 30 minutes. And if you know a little bit about poker, video poker has some of the best odds where you don't win much, you don't lose much, and you just kind of generate the play. So for those 20, 30 minutes, I was sitting there, I basically came out like $2 ahead. So I didn't lose anything. I didn't win much, but I was sitting there with free drinks. And, when I left, I got $2. So it's a great way to rack up some tier credits and just, spend your time, show the casino that you're playing a little bit and get free drinks at the same time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got into points, miles, and all these different kinds of travel tricks, I guess. Learning these types of things, not a lot of people know, and some of these things you have to go and do yourself to find out. But what got you started in this space?
Yeah, so around 2010-ish, I think a lot of people got started back then when the points guy just started up. We had Million Mile Secret, which is another website slash blog. And they just started telling people about all these points and miles deals and ways to take advantage of your good credit, right? So that's kind of when I got started, because I'm always down for a great deal, whether it be buying, computer stuff, electronics, or stuff in general. But then I started traveling more back then too. So I started looking at more travel deals, and those are some of the main blogs I came across. And then just from there, you start following all these other ones, Frequent Miler, Doctor of Credit, and you just get more and more into the game. And yeah, you start earning more and more points, and eventually you tell your friends and family, your family gets more points, and everyone can go on trips together. So that's pretty much how I book my trips now, how I plan my family travel. We pretty much get all the same credit cards all together whenever there's good bonus offers. And then when we redeem it, we try to redeem it together so we can all travel for free.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of which, I know you had taken trips to Paris and Tokyo with your wife and parents. So what was that like? How did you book that? And what was the experience like for those two trips?
Yeah, so with my wife, actually did Around the World, which was one of my topics at the Travel Summit. The ANA Around the World, where anywhere from 105,000 to 125,000 total points. You could do anywhere, minimum 3 to 8 business class flights, right? One of the best deals in the game. It's not an easy booking. It is a more advanced booking, but once you get more into it, definitely is one that I always recommend people take advantage of. We stayed at different hotels all throughout Europe, Asia on that trip. So use hotel points as well. With my parents, so this is something I recommend to everyone, especially if you're basically at the age where your parents are 60 and up. Starting, I believe, around 2017, I was like, man, I need to take my parents on more trips because they're not getting any younger. And I'm the oldest sibling in the family. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's plan a trip every year. We could be Asia, it could be Europe. It just so happened our first trip was to Paris. And because my mom had never been to Europe up until that point.
Oh, wow.
So I booked, I believe it was 4 of us. It was myself, my mom, my sister, and my niece. The 4 of us, we went to Paris. I had a great time. Everything was done on points. And then every year after that, so 2018, 2019, I think we took a break during the pandemic. But every year after that, we did a trip. A lot of times it was to Europe, and we just see like a different country, some different cities, and just create memories, with your parents, take a lot of photos, go to places, eat a lot of good food. But that's one of the main things I feel like really points and travel lets us do. It lets us go to places, stay at these nice hotels, take these flights that otherwise we probably would not spend our money on. But with our good credit and with these free points, yeah, definitely. It's something to take advantage of.
Yeah. So do you have a trip coming up with them that you've planned?
Well, like I said, so I have 2 sets of parents. So this month, it was basically pre-Thanksgiving. My dad and stepmom, we did a trip to Vegas last week to use up all our credits before the end of the year. And then this week with my mom and stepdad, we're doing a Vegas trip as well. So I think this will be it. Earlier this year, I actually booked both sets of parents for the Virgin Cruise offer this summer. Cool. So they actually went to did the Caribbean, I believe it was like 5-day cruise. They really liked that. I actually took parents to the 7-day Mediterranean cruise last year. So that was their first time on the Virgin Cruise. They really liked that. So this year I booked them both sets of parents on the Caribbean one. It was just a little bit closer than flying all the way to Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. They're so lucky. I mean, I was thinking, if you're a parent listening and you have adult kids, maybe you should tell them about points miles so they can book you on these trips.
Yeah, I mean, if not, if you could earn your own points and take
Yeah,
yourself on the trip. Yeah,
of
because
course.
like I said, I don't have enough points to go around. We have a big family. We have an extended
Hmm.
family, so I don't have enough points to go around. And that's why, when I get a card, I make sure everyone gets this almost the same cards, so they can always have their own points to spend when we go on a trip. So everyone will be covered, and everyone will be happy, have a good time. They don't have to worry about, oh, I have to book this separately myself. I have to pay cash for it. No, everyone can take the flights together. Everyone can stay at the same hotel. So that really is, like I said, I can't mention enough how great it is just to have your family with you, going to the same places and then taking pictures and eating together. It's just a great feeling because these memories will last a lifetime.
Yeah. So, what are some of the lesser known and creative methods that you use, whether it's for earning more points or for booking trips at like squeezing more value out of your points?
Yeah. So I'm really big. I know some people, they're against open credit cards. That's not me. I
Yeah.
like to open credit cards because it is the fastest way to garner a lot of points very quickly. Now, yes, you do have to be very detailed and organized, keep spreadsheets. So you know exactly
Mhm.
when you apply, you have notes on when the sign up bonus is due, and you have notes on when you should close the card, right? So all that is very important. Keep track of it. I mean, I'm not talking about like 20 cards a year, not even 10 cards a year. Let's say you do 2 cards every 3 months. That's maybe 8 cards a year, right? Which is more than enough for most people. I would say getting anywhere from 3 to 8 cards is pretty ideal. If you talk about each card with a 70, 80,000 sign up bonus, that gives you at least 200,000 points a year times player two. If you travel as a couple, that's 400,000 to 500,000 right there. So it is a great way. Now, in my talk at the travel summit, I did mention that you definitely have to do it strategically with the banks, right?
Mhm.
You have to apply for some of these stricter banks first. So we got Citi, we got Capital One, we got Barclays. Maybe some people, if they want 0%, they go for US Bank, right? Those first. So I'll give you an example I always like to give. Everyone wants to be girlfriend number one. Okay. No one likes to be girlfriend number 4 or 5, except for Amex. Amex, you can apply for them last because they're okay. If you get all the other banks first, they'll still come with you with open arms if you apply for them last. And they usually approve everyone as long as your credit score is good, you don't have any negatives. They do soft pulls, you'll get approved with Amex. But Citi, Barclays, Chase, they're different, right? They want you to put them as girlfriend number one. Otherwise, if you put them as girlfriend number 3 or 4, they're like, no, I don't want you in it. Okay. So treat them right, put them up front, give them more attention in the beginning. Then you can go after some of these other banks, maybe like Bank of America. Those you can apply for later. Their underwriting doesn't care as much if you've applied for other cards. But like Capital One, people always come to me, hey, I can't get approved for Capital One. I'm like, how many cards have you opened in the last 1 to 2 years? They're very sensitive on recent inquiries. They're very sensitive on new accounts recently. So
Mhm.
if it's something you really want, try to apply for them first before you go after other ones.
Yeah.
Same thing with Citi.
Yeah, I got rejected the first time I applied for Capital One. And I was like, what the heck? Because I didn't know. A lot of people talk about the Chase 524 rule, but not a lot of people
Yeah,
talk about how it's basically the same thing for Capital One, except it's worse with them because you don't have as many. I think it's great to start with Chase too because they have so many cards. Like you can
yeah,
always start. Like if you start with them, by the time you go through all the other cards you're gonna get, you're ready to earn a sign up bonus again on Chase. Like with Amex, you can only earn it, once every 7 years. So it's not like it's harder to do it that way.
yeah. The thing with Capital One is really how many cards do you want from them?
Mm-hmm.
There's really only one card. People want the Venture X now. Before they had the Venture X, really the only card for travel purposes and points purposes worth getting was the Venture card. It also gives you 2% back. And now everyone's shifted to the Venture X because it gives you unlimited lounge access at the Capital One lounges. So once you get that, it's good to hold on for the long term because you can get 2x on everything else. That's usually the card I use anywhere else for just any general purpose, non-category bonus spend, right? You get 2x. But then, of course, Citibank, you only have a couple cards really too. Everyone wants the Premier card because you can transfer to travel partners, and you can only get that every 4 years. You have the Citi Double Cash, which is similar to the Capital One Venture X. It gives you 2x on everything, except internationally, the Double Cash charges an foreign exchange fee, whereas the Capital One, they don't. So strategically, another thing I'll point in, which I'm sure you guys have talked about extensively, is getting business cards in between, because you don't have to, out of the 3-day cards you get every year, if 5 of them, let's say, are business cards, then they're not going to show up on your personal credit report, and you can stay under 524 for Chase, which means every year you'll be able to get 1 or 2 new Chase cards as well. For Chase, really everyone obviously loves the Sapphire, Preferred, or Reserve, maybe some co-branded cards like the Southwest ones if you're going for a Companion Pass. Some people are really into Aeroplan, so they got the Aeroplan. Some people really love ISG, they have the ISG card. Definitely, I would recommend those much later if you've gotten everything else. But mixed in some of those Chase Ink cards that give you really good, I think 90,000, 75,000. For a time, there's 120,000 sign-up bonus. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about, because a lot of people have struggled with the business cards when it comes to credit limits. Can you talk about like credit limits and how sometimes you have to like move things around to be able to be eligible for a card?
Yeah. So let's talk specifically with Chase. So if you've been reading, people have been saying Chase has been more strict with the underwriting approval for business cards. I think especially for those, it's very true for those with too many business cards. So before opening some new chasing cards, I always close them, wait a month, and then maybe apply for some, because some people have been holding like 8, 10 chasing cards. Then what happens is you've maxed out your total credit lines with Chase. So Chase, in my experience, even if you have pretty high income, they usually give you around 70 to 100,000 in total credit lines across all your personal and business cards. So one of the tricks people say is, hey, reduce your credit lines on other Chase cards before you apply for new Ink cards. All right, yes. But now I would go even a step further and say, hey, if you're not using these chasing cards that you've gotten a couple years ago, go ahead and close them so you don't have like 8 chasing cards. Close them. Maybe if you have 1 or 2, then you apply for your next chasing card, you'll get approved a lot easier. Otherwise, you're going to be looking your profile, your internal profile, be like, man, this guy has personal cards and they have a bunch of business cards. Like, why does he need more? Right? Why do they need more? And it's hard to justify that. Oh, I just want to separate my business expenses. I want to do this, when you've already had so many and you don't have activity on them, especially. So don't be afraid to close some of these business cards. Now, you did mention transferring credit limits. That's also something you can do with Chase. With the business cards, you can transfer business credit lines to business credit lines, because sometimes they don't want to open up a new credit line and offer you more credit line. They want to keep you at the same overall credit line. So you can, we call it reallocation, reallocate it. But that's also a strategy as well. But if you're not using them, go ahead and close them, after you've had them for a year.
Yeah, that's it. I think the reason why people don't is because those Ink cards have no annual fee. So you're like, oh, I'll just keep it open. But I mean, it's not even like it's really helping your credit age, because if it's a business card, it's not helping your personal credit age anyway. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So when it comes to earning more points, I know you have the goal of helping each client amass 1 million points. What are some strategies you use for, especially for people new to points and miles, in order to get those points besides opening cards? Like, what are some other strategies?
Oh, I'm a big proponent of opening cards with the right methods. So like we mentioned, I'll kind of summarize. So one is to apply first for the ones that are harder to get. And the banks, that like Citibank. And I mentioned this, I believe, in other talks as well. But like, I'll give you an example. If you're getting a Citi Premier, know that, hey, I get Citi Premier bonus. let's say when it's 80,000 points, right now, I think the usual bonus is 60,000. Maybe I'll wait till it's 80,000. I'll apply for one. And then I'll wait a month and then apply for a second one before hitting the bonus. Then you can actually get 2 of those bonuses every 4 years instead of only getting one bonus every year, right? Basically, you've gotten 160,000 just for having 2 city premieres. They call it the Strata Premiere. So that's what that means. Okay. And the reason that works is because you can only have one bonus in 4 years, not one card in 4 years. So you're getting 2 cards, but you haven't hit the bonus yet. If you were to hit the bonus on the first card before you apply for the second card, you wouldn't get approved. You see?
I see. Okay,
it's
so wait, you have to open. So you have to
you
open the card before you've earned the bonus on the next one.
You open the first one, you wait, you don't hit the bonus, and maybe next month, then you open the second card, and then you hit both bonuses together. So that will work. That's
interesting.
A very higher level strategy. I'll say intermediate strategy that a lot of people don't do. So if you don't do that, then think about this. If you have player 1 and player 2, instead of getting 160 per person, so 320,000 every 4 years, you're only getting 160. So you get half that. So strategically go for the business cards. We mentioned that because you can get several business card bonuses, whether it be Chase and Amex. They have some of the most generous business cards out there. Yes, the Amex charge cards, business gold, business platinum, they do have annual fees, but obviously we want to try to use all the credits that come with that. And then they're very generous. So like, let's say you get the business gold on Amex, you get the sign up bonus. Sometimes if you find a NLL, no lifetime language one, maybe you can get the bonus again, right? So you're getting the same card, but you're getting the bonus multiple times. And let's say once you have the business gold, they send you an email offer. Or when you log in, you see a link, hey, upgrade your business gold to the business platinum. You may already have a business platinum, but if you see that upgrade link, guess what? You get that bonus for the upgrade as well. So then you can have 2 business platinums and then you can get another bonus for the upgrade. Now, after 1 year, you may not have to keep that card that you just upgraded, but at least get the bonus, another bonus off of it, right? Yeah. Things like that really add up because Amex business card bonuses usually, recently we've seen 200,000 for the business gold and 250 for the business platinum. So just getting one of each gives you another 450,000 points. And we're not even talking about the Chase bonuses, Capital One, the Barclays bonuses. Barclays, I would say it's something more recent that I would recommend everyone jump on before it goes away is the Barclays Business Hawaiian card. Because you know that once Alaska and Hawaii merge, they're going to get rid of the Hawaiian card eventually. We don't know when it's going to happen. It may happen in the next couple months. So get that business Hawaiian Barclays card, get the personal Hawaiian card because those Hawaiian points will transfer to Alaska, which is a very valuable system. Those are time sensitive. I would jump on that maybe this month if you're listening. Otherwise, once it goes away, you won't get them again. Now, Alaska Miles, yes, they partner with Bank of America. You can always get that. I'm sure they'll keep that relationship and you can still get those in the future. But the Barclays relationship, we don't know what's going to happen to that.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because it's like that card, you don't have to worry about the eligibility because if it's going away, like you're not going to apply for it in the future. So it's not like just get that, just do that one, as long as you're not trying to stay under 524 or anything, I guess.
Yeah,
but you can do the business one.
Do the business one first. I always recommend the business one. That one's a little lower. I believe it's 50,000. Then the personal one is 70,000. So get that one. 524, yes, it's important, but it is overrated because like life isn't just about Chase, right? Yeah. Life, I would say Amex is one of my favorites because it's just so easy to earn a lot of points. And they just keep on throwing, whether it be new offers that don't have lifetime language, they keep on throwing upgrade offers at you every single year that you can really rack up hundreds of thousands of American Express points really easily. And those are great for airlines. Chase, yes, we still like them for points, transfer to Hyatt and stuff, but it's not end all be all, right?
Yeah. You're reminding me, I need to downgrade my American Express Platinum business card to business gold so that they can offer me the bonus again. Because that's what I did last time. Was I had the gold, I upgraded, and then I got like the bonus twice basically, which is awesome.
I mean, you could possibly, sometimes they give upgrades to the green. So maybe downgrade to the business green. Maybe they give you an upgrade to the business gold. Take that one. And then if they offer you an upgrade, sometimes they might do it the month after. Hey, grade your business gold to business platinum. You could do that upgrade too. And you can get each incremental upgrade offer. So you can play that as long as they offer it to you. Usually that means that, hey, they're still going to give you the points that you qualify.
Yeah. Can you explain, because I think it's been a while since we talked about this, what no lifetime language means?
So with Amex, no lifetime language basically just means that you can get the welcome offer once in your whole lifetime. Now that's been based on data points. Lifetime has been equivalent to 7 years, like you mentioned earlier, which is fine because, let's say I got the regular personal platinum card 7 years ago. If I tried to apply again today, it'd probably be out of their system and I can get a bonus offer. The great thing about Amex is if it doesn't give you the pop-up, then pretty much you're good to go. You will get the bonus. Now, if it says, hey, there's a couple of different kinds of pop-ups. One kind is, hey, you've already gotten this bonus previously. You don't qualify for it again. And then you won't qualify for it. So then I would just exit out of the application. A lot of times when we say lifetime language in Amex terms is 7 years. But if they throw you an email, sometimes they throw you a physical mailer in the mail, or even these upgrade offers, a lot of times they won't have this language, which means, hey, you can apply for it and you will get the bonus attached to it again.
Yeah, I think something that's a little bit confusing is that it doesn't matter if you already got the bonus, the lifetime language means when you apply for that offer, the one that has the no lifetime language, it means you're eligible for the bonus as long as you don't get some kind of pop-up, but you shouldn't if it's a no lifetime language link.
Yeah.
It's not like if you get the card with no lifetime language, that doesn't mean you're eligible to use like a normal link later, right?
Yeah. So the lifetime language, you'd have to read the fine print at the very bottom. Usually they'll say offer terms, and then they'll say something to the effect of, if you received this in the past, you won't qualify for this welcome offer again. But if it doesn't have that line, then yes, you will. And to verify, like I said, once you click apply, it'll give you the pop-up or it won't. And if it doesn't, then you're definitely good to go.
Yeah. And if for some reason you get this link, and you should send it to all your friends because they'll love you if you get like a really good one. Sometimes it's like 250,000 points.
Yeah, some of them can be transferred, and then some of them could be targeted. So maybe when you click the link for you, it'll say, hey, it's not available to you. So it depends.
Yeah. So you spoke at our summit in May about booking around the world trips, and then you spoke at our summit in August talking about mastering credit card approval. So if you could give us a little bit of a sneak peek for those who weren't able to attend the summit live, but maybe they want to catch the replays with the VIP goodie bag, what they'll get out of both of those presentations.
Yeah. So with the around the world trip with one welcome offer, basically, like I mentioned, with 125,000 points or less, you'll be able to fly around the world in business class, anywhere up to from 3 to 8 business class flights usually. I go over a breakdown of what the rules are, the best ways to book it, how to basically be more efficient in finding these award seats, and then how to book it through ANA. And you can only call ANA to book these, but basically have everything set up. So once you call them, you can get everything done right away instead of having to call back multiple times, because a lot of times people aren't ready. And what happens is you're going to have to call back. Once you have everything set up, watch the recording of that. You'll know exactly how to book it. Some of my tips and tricks to booking that. And then the application, the bank rules and underwriting one is a little bit, we gave you a little sneak peek on the podcast, but we go into details of each bank and their underwriting rules and what I suggest on how you apply for each one of those banks and how to sequence it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much today, Arthur. You shared so much valuable information. I know we'll get a lot out of that. So if we want to learn more from you and if we want to find you on the internet, where can we find you?
So I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is the.Arthur.Chow. So if you type in Arthur Chow, you'll probably see me. I'm the first one, ARTHUR. Last name is CHOW. And then, follow me, add me. And then if you have any questions, just shoot a message.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us today. If you enjoyed this podcast, if you learned something new, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and a written review. That really helps us to be able to keep putting on the podcast and figuring out what topics you like to hear about and what you got out of the podcast. And so that we can keep putting on these free virtual summits.
Definitely, subscribe to the podcast. I want to thank Mackenzie and Angel again. They really put out a really diverse range of speakers talking about all kinds of things, travel and points and miles. Join their next virtual travel summit, and hopefully we'll see you guys in an event too and meet in person.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.